Okay, I've got the multimeter out, the schematic is open, and I'm just staring at the display on this unit. We've got an alarm code 13 flashing.
And let me guess, your first thought is to start swapping sensors.
My gut instinct, absolutely. Start swapping until the light goes off. But you're telling me that's the rookie move.
It is absolutely the rookie move. So put the tools down for a second. Today, you need to think less like a mechanic and more like a detective.
A detective?
Yeah, because alarm code 13, the sensor check, isn't telling you a part is broken. It's telling you that the story, the machine is telling itself. It just doesn't add up.
So it's a logic puzzle.
Exactly. And our mission on this deep dive is to decode that puzzle. We really need to understand how code 13 works with the other sensor codes.
You mean code 02 for the evap coil, 03 for return air, and 04 for discharge air?
Those are the ones, if you don't get the relationship between code 13 and those three, you're going to waste hours, I mean literally hours, chasing ghosts.
All right, let's unpack this. The manual talks about soft failures versus hard failures. I'm guessing a hard failure is pretty obvious, right? Something just snaps.
Correct. A hard failure is violent, electrically speaking. We're talking an open circuit, a short, a wire that's been cut clean through.
And what do you see on the display then?
Usually you'll just see dashes where the temperature reading should be. It's getting no signal at all.
And in that case, do I see a code 13?
No. And that is the absolute critical distinction here. If a sensor is completely dead, a hard failure, the system just gives you the specific sensor code. So cut the return air sensor wire, you get a code 03. That's it. No code 13.
Okay, so if I do see code 13 popping up, say, alongside a code 03, that means the sensor isn't actually dead.
Right. It means you have a soft failure. The sensor's still talking to the controller, but it's lying.
It's lying.
It's drifting. It's reading erratically or just way out of tolerance compared to the other sensors around it. Code 13 is the system basically saying, hey, I'm getting data from this sensor, but it doesn't match the reality I'm seeing from the others.
Wow, okay. That saves a ton of time. If I see 13, I'm looking for an accuracy problem, not a broken wire.
Now you're thinking like a detective.
But when does the system decide to make that call? I mean, it can't just be any time the temperatures don't match perfectly, right?
No, that would cause false alarms constantly.
Yeah.
This brings us to what we call the 20-minute rule.
The 20-minute rule.
The logic is programmed to run this comparison check at a very specific moment. 20 minutes after a defrost cycle terminates.
Okay, why then?
Well, think about what happens during defrost. You're pouring heat onto the coil to melt ice. Thermally, everything is chaotic in there.
Right, temperatures are all over the place.
So the system waits 20 minutes for the air in the coil to stabilize. If, after that window, the evaporator coil, return air, and discharge sensors aren't reading within a specific degree range of each other, bam, it triggers code 13.
It's a stability check. So if I'm trying to diagnose it 2 hours later, the sensor might be reading fine again because the drift was intermittent.
Precisely. And that's why you cannot diagnose this with just a multimeter. You need the Service Watch data logger. You have to hook up your laptop, open WinTrack, and look at the data at the technician user level.
So you can go back in time.
You can go back in time to that exact 20-minute mark and see what the temperatures were actually doing when the alarm was set.
Okay, let's talk about the trap, the one with clearing the codes.
Yeah. This burns technicians all the time. Code 13 is unique because a driver can actually clear it from the main menu just to stop the alarm from flashing.
But wait, if the driver clears it, isn't the problem fixed?
The notification is gone, but the evidence remains. The driver can clear code 13, but the associated sensor codes, like that code 03 or 04, they're stubborn. They are guarded access codes.
Guarded access, so I have to dig into a specific menu to wipe them.
Exactly. You have to manually go into the guarded access menu to clear those. So here's the scenario. A truck comes in, the driver says, nope, no problems. You check the alarm list and you only see a code 03.
So my first thought is hard failure, maybe a loose wire somewhere.
Right. But it could actually be the leftovers of a soft failure, where the driver already cleared the code 13 that came with it.
So I have to check the data log.
You check the Service Watch download. If it shows that the 03 was originally paired with a 13, that tells you the sensor was drifting, not broken, it changes your entire repair strategy.
It really is detective work. You're looking for the fingerprint left behind after the crime scene was wiped down.
That's the job. It's about synthesis. Code 13 is the system trying to help you by flagging unreliable data, not just missing data.
So for all of you listening, it sounds like we need to trust the logic board a little more than our gut instinct.
Trust, but always verify with data. If you ignore that soft versus hard failure distinction, you're going to be replacing good parts and, worse, leaving bad ones in the unit.
And that wraps up our deep dive. Alarm code 13. It's not just a nuisance light, it's a cry for help from a confused controller.
I'll leave you with this last thought. We focus so much on hard failures because they stop the unit cold. But what about a soft failure? If a sensor is just drifting, maybe it's reporting the temperature is 5 degrees colder than it actually is. The unit thinks everything is fine, so it keeps running.
But the cargo isn't fine.
Exactly. Before that code 13 finally triggers, how many hours or even days was that cargo sitting at the wrong temperature, silently losing its shelf life? All while the display showed a perfect number.